Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back once again, Hearts of Iron for the New Order. Where we left off, nothing much happened. This is a new campaign. We'll be playing as, well, basically, Cheetah right now, which is the reluctant Tsar thing. There's two main candidates for a Russian Empire restoration. One is in Cheetah, and one is in Vyatka. Vyatka is a more legitimate heir. He has, an actual claim to the title. We, however, are a son of someone of Russian royalty to the Romanov family. But the marriage between my mom and dad, well, of this guy's mom and dad, was monastic, which means that he does not have a claim to the throne. But the people that are, kind of kidnapped him away into this land didn't really care. They just needed a figurehead so they can, go with whatever it is that they wanted to do. And so here I am, basically. I am just a silly little figurehead for them to hopefully make use of me. But we gotta make the best out of it, right? What do you actually need? What do our troops actually need? What kind of troops are they? Infantry equipment and anti-tank. Alright. So, basic anti-tank stuff. Infantry equipment, good. And, man, start with support and artillery as well. For once we have enough of that, right? There we go. Oh, my industry's god awful. But, we'll figure it out. We'll try to no longer become... there you go, unwilling king. The Tsar Mikhail rose, dressed and prepared for the meeting with his high command. It was to take place in the Grand Royal Palace, an extravagant title for the modest residence that he had been installed in. Sitting himself at the head of the table, Mikhail watched as the generals and functionals entered. Many were very advanced in age, yet were very energetic and passionate. The thought of a grand reclamation of Russia by the White Army spurred them into action. Several were younger, primarily descendants of the emigres, or new recruits themselves. He had always trusted them. They were more logical and not as shackled to the distant past of the old empire. Admin Semyonov opened the meeting, delivered a speech of the latest development. His hands shook as his balance was unsteady, but his voice and eyes were crystal clear. One by one, the other generals stated their opinions and expressed their concerns. Mikhail mostly remained silent and only occasionally expressed his expected approval as the other generals expressed their opinions and concerns. His head full of thoughts of the life and wife that he had left behind in Australia. Oh, that's kind of sad. Once the meeting was adjourned and escorted by his personal bodyguards, Mikhail decided to walk the streets of Cheetah. On freshly fallen snow, the city looked picturesque, and his subjects, from children to old men, happily went about their lives in a surprisingly safe city. Though he was still uncomfortable in a position he had not chosen, Mikhail felt a moment of pride for this island of stability that he had been chosen as a figurehead of. One cannot simply reject the throne. Yeah, we basically got suckered into being a figurehead, but we're gonna make the best out of it, We're gonna make sure this glorious Cheetah lands will become the most glorious lands ever known to mankind. Don't look at the fact that we have basic literacy and it's even being destroyed, so we might become illiterate soon, or that poverty is insanely high, or that there's okay industry. It's nascent, but it's not horrible. Yeah, we do need some supplies, right? Alright, so, directing the budget. Our young empire has limited resources and hard choices will have to be made. We must decide which sector of our nation will receive the majority of the government funding. While we would attempt to balance our efforts, such an approach risks an unacceptable illusion of effectiveness. Tsar Mikhail has voiced his preference for funding the so-called loyalists. They wish to continue on developing Cheetah's infrastructure and expand the industrial base. To this, however, much needed funding will have to be diverted from the military, a dangerous prospect in these desperate times. Yeah, civilian aligned. Let's go with that one. Let's follow the Tsar. We will invest in the Tsar's investments. There we go. And we do kind of need... if we can get some more troops, yeah, that would be nice, because we need at least 6 to conduct a proper raid. We do have the manpower. Well, we have some manpower. We don't actually don't have that much manpower. All things considered. In fact, no. Actually, I'm gonna put them in here because we are losing manpower by the day. Oh, never mind. It's fixed up. Good. This will favor. All right, contact the reform bureaucrats. Let's see what that makes us. What that'll get us. No need for this. Political campaign. We could buy up some stability though. Is that? You know what? Sure. Let's buy up some stability. Alright, so we're contacting. It's a sad truth that our industry body is severely lacking in any source of expertise or veterancy. Any technical and industrial experts that Shida once harbored were either killed in decades of strife or fled, apparently anywhere but here. But without those well versed in industry management and development, how will we be able to ensure the effectiveness and efficiency developed of our industry? Clearly, outside help is needed. Many of the white officials, despite residing in Cheetah, still have significant connections in Harbin, and by extension Manchuria as a whole. It may be best for us to contact Manchuria reform bureaucrats, those who had been put in charge of the miraculous industrialization of their state, to see if they have any resources or manpower to spare. Oh, there we go. A reply to our request has come through today, sent directly by the capital of Manchuria. The reply, dripping with formality, barely contained the implication that the letterhead. Subsequent industrial aid would be provided to the Tsarists in Cheetah would come at a cost, and that cost would be more than just money. The Manchurians and their Japanese masters frequently dealt in favor, something that our government has already accepted as a reality. On a long enough timeline, it seems likely that they will come knocking at our front door asking to be repaid. However, in the meantime, it appears as if Manchuria, likely with the permission of the Japanese, has agreed to our proposal for industrial aid. This is a fantastic win for us. While it won't necessarily help us directly legitimize our government and provide political recognition, it will, however, allow us to bolster our petty industry. Ooh, yes. 3 years of improved industrial capacity. Let's continue down this path. Alright. What do we need? Alright, let's actually... literacy. So... schools. There we go. It will begin to improve. Passing the torch. You asked to see me, sir? General Shepunov asked, standing face to face to his superior in the doorway. The old Ataman, who leaned on an intricately designed cane, looked as though he had one foot in the grave. The years had not been kind to the man who once defied the red behemoth so many years ago. Indeed, please come in and take a seat, Ataman Semyonov said weakly, in his voice almost a whisper. Shepunov did as he said and took the position on a dusty vintage sofa by the fireplace. The old man took longer, bones audibly creaking as he sat across from his protege. Boris, I'll get to the point. I don't have nearly as much time to waste on platitudes these days. Semyonov ended off with a chuckle, which quickly transforms into a messy cough. That makes two of us, Grigory. Just tell me what you need of me. Boris, my time here is running out. It shames me deeply that I won't be able to see Russia cleanse of the Red Menace in my lifetime. But perhaps I can rest more peacefully knowing that the struggle will continue without me. Oh, when the time comes, I want you to take my place. Shepunov was speechless. He had long followed in Semyonov's footsteps, but to take his place? Grigory, I would be honored, but are you absolutely sure that I'm the one you want? I have had decades to think this over, Boris. No one truly understands what the movement means like you and I do. If anyone can bring order to the sacred motherland, it is you. I won't let you down, sir. Interesting. Is he in here somewhere? There it is. Boris Shepunov, there he is. But we'll attempt to stay as the Tsar. That's what I want, actually. No. Focus on research? Nah, the rest of them are kind of useless. The rest of them are pretty damn useless, as far as I can see. Is there anything that gives me manpower? Or like any troops? The spirits is actually pretty damn good. Resource gain efficiency, which is okay. There's some resources. It might be time for us to go for military funds instead. There we go. Put them out. We got 4 troops. It's not much, but whatever. Dear Father, it has been some time since we've spoken, yes? In the past, I haven't had much opportunity or drive to write to you, and for that I sincerely apologize. My life has grown stranger over the years, as I feel as though I've no avenue through which to vent my frustrations. You are one of the wisest men I have ever known, and I hope you can find it in you to give your foolish son a good counsel. As you know, I spent much of my time in Australia after serving with the Fleet Air Arm. It was one of the happiest periods of my life, and regrettably the situation has changed for the worst. Several years ago, I got an invitation for a group of Russian emigres in Harbin to attend a banquet celebrating the legacy of Romanov family. It seemed like a quaint affair, an opportunity to celebrate my lineage, but instead I found myself having a crown placed on top of my head in the city of Chita, deep in the Siberian wastes. As I write, I still remain in Russia many years after I left for Harbin. The emperor of a realm I have no real interest in ruling. This place is horrible, Father. I have no real power, and these old whites do not care about me or my well-being. The only thing they do care about is using my name to legitimize these barbaric wars and atrocities that follow. If I attempt to make a decision, they look at me as though I have 3 eyes. This land is cold and harsh, and I miss Australia every day. I feel a deep pain in my heart when I think of the wife that I left behind. You're the only one I can think of to return to, Father. I'm locked inside a golden cage in a land that is foreign to me, and I do not know what to do. If nothing else, I can only ask you to forgive your son for being so stupid and to find himself in a situation like this. Signed, Michael. Man, that's sad. But I feel like this is a situation that happens semi-regularly in history, or where people use the, descendants of certain people to legitimize their own conquests, where the ruler doesn't have any own power of its own. And I'm kind of stuck in the same situation right now. So let's hope I can figure this out and fix this whole shit, right? Special training. This is weapons. Alright, let's go in here. Good. Scavenge for loot, please. Money makes the war go round. As the principal as a minister of finance, Ivan Mikhail was used to hire commanders of the White Army making appointments to speak to him, or just as often not making them, and arriving anyway. The particular meeting was one of the latter variety. The general, one of the closest to Semyonov in inner circles, had walked right past his deputies and secretaries, entering Mikhailov's office and closing the door behind him. From his demeanor, Mikhailov could not tell whatever the man wanted. It would not be something he himself would be pleased to grant, and that he would not have a choice besides. The request, as he expected, was polite. The military would be requesting further funds to be diverted towards their own initiatives. Alright, so it's basically as a response to what I took, probably, right? The balance of the budget. I know, my dude, I know. There's nothing we can do about this. Schools are almost built, though. At least that's a positive thing. Train our troops. Oh, we actually get manpower through this. Yes. If that's the case, I'm down to continue going down this path. Oh, they have at least one. Alright, right. How many troops do you have, actually? 2 units. Actually, oh, damn. That is actually very doable. I can bully you, in fact. They have a brilliant... Details. It does not have the brilliant... No one has a brilliant strategist. Alright. Then I'll take... Grigori, which, you know, he won't last too long, let's be honest. And attach Abrahamov to there. There we go. I'll do this to get a bonus. Planning bonus, rather. And that should be enough, right? Alright, offensive. Good. For an extra point. Alright, we're initiating the raid, right? They refuse us, but we've initiated the border war. And we should actually be winning this quite handedly, right? We'll get an additional loot off of them. Oh yeah, dude, they have nothing. We're getting a loot off of them, so that's good. So we've stabilized literacy. Now let's go for, can we go poverty or industrial expertise? What is this? Agriculture? There we go, industrial expertise. We'll stabilize this. Good. The Imperial Prospector. Thank you very much. And we'll slowly try to improve our situation down here. We've got a lot to do, really. And hopefully we can loot someone else as soon as possible. It'll have to depend, really, who it is. Right now we barely support our army. We need more manpower, really, right? Yeah, it's just the manpower that we're lacking. And some anti-tank guns. Not much, but some. Let's go down here. No. No. Focus on research, no. Honestly, these ones don't really speak to me. This one could be decent. No. No. I don't want to spend my stability. Stability is going to be hard to come by in general. There we go. How long does a successful raid last for? Well, hopefully we can get some more loot going. Because we do need to improve our situation a lot. Oh no! The death of Ataman. Most unfortunate news has arrived at Chita, the capital of Russian monarchism in the Far East. Grigori Mikhailov Semyonov, known as the Ataman, has passed away from natural causes at the age of 71. A popular figure in Chita and a valuable ally to Tsar Mikhail. He has departed to the world to join the predeceased comrades. Born in Transbaikal in 1890, Semyonov first distinguished himself as the old Tsar's Cossack Legion during the Great War. When the Civil War began, he organized some of the first anti-Bolshevik revolutions in the Transbaikal, and with the help of both the Czechoslovakian and the Legion and the Japanese, managed to seize both Chita and surrounding regions. There he held out against the Soviets even as the rest of the White movement crumbled, before being forced to flee into Manchuria. Decades later, as the leader of the Immigrant Committee in Harbin, he became a leader of the Japanese-supported anti-Bolshevik front, and rose to become the indisputable chief of the military clique. Alright, well, Boris is taking the place. He's also decent-ish. Good. continue down this path. Let's get some industrial investments. There we go. Changing of the guard. The news of Grigory Simonov death has filled Mikhail with apprehension. The man had all but kidnapped him, carrying him along as a puppet of the frozen Shida, and yet he had been a known quality. Mikhail had known where he stood. He could not yet say the same for Semyonov's replacement, both as interim prime minister and as commander-in-chief of the military as a whole, Boris Shepanov. He knew of the general, of course, general's long-serving protege, and had interacted with him before, but never in such a political capacity. Shepanov had spoken grandly at Semyonov's funeral, eulogizing of the man and proclaiming his greatness, no doubt already knowing that he would be stepping forward to fill the power vacuum. Mikhail was sure that he had equally grand plans. The White Army always did, especially when they involved him, which was why on the very day he had formally invited Shepanov to take control of the government, he had to fight hard to keep his expression neutral. The man's entire demeanor was different. He walked differently, spoke differently, and his eyes even seemed to have, if possible, gotten even colder than he had remembered. As Shepanov thanked him for his confidence and turned to leave, no doubt to execute whatever plans he had already made, Mikhail could no longer prevent a grimace from crossing his face. What was to come? What did that mean for him? Will he be any different? Well, let's try to hold on to our power, huh? Well, whatever power we have. Whatever little power we have, rather. So, went Boris Shepanov, hands folded neatly on his desk. So, Mikhail Andreevich, his new puppet, nervously gripping the rest of the chair. Are you aware I am now your interim prime minister as well as commander-in-chief and the White Army? I shall be taking on all the other duties handled by my predecessors as well. Rest assured that that's rather swell, Commander Shepanov, but I've been meaning to ask you something for a while now. Yes, my Tsar? His face twitching ever so slightly. He despised being interrupted, especially by someone like the human weasel sitting in front of him. I was wondering hypothetically, what if I didn't want to stay here, in Russia, I mean. What are you saying? You're the Tsar, you cannot leave. I don't like it here, Shepanov, please, if you would. Let's make one thing perfectly clear, Your Majesty. You are going to be staying here in Russia for as long as that crown rests on your head, and I would suggest strongly to put to bed any thoughts of abandoning your destiny. Mikhail wilted as his new overseer spoke. Whatever slim hope remained within the puppet Tsar, it was all crushed into dust in an instant. The Tsar's tired. See him to his quarters. Yeah, I'm basically a prisoner right now. But just you wait, Shepanov. I will rise to power. I will destroy you. I will absolutely destroy you. Hopefully. We'll see, right? One step at a time. Okay, in the meantime, it's time for loot. Oh, I can prepare more raids. How's your position looking? 3 to 4. You only have 1. Oh, I think we accidentally destroyed one of their troops. So, I think Aldan was probably the one that I want to go for. There we go. Good strategic resources. Yeah, we are lacking a bit. Well, actually not that much. But we're lacking some resources. So, let's go with that one, eh? Dear Father, I have never gotten a response to my last letter, and I can't help but think that it means that you either never receive it or are too intensely disappointed in your son to craft a response. I wouldn't blame you. What I did was foolish and deeply unbecoming of one such as myself, and I should have known better. I should have chosen better. But what's done is done, and now I have no choice but to face a hell of my own making. I sincerely regret once again troubling you with my problems, but in truth I have nobody else to turn to. This land is foreign and cruel. I have no friends, only scores of villainous men who pretend to respect me in public and no doubt mock me in private. I am a living, walking joke. They call me a Tsar, but everyone knows the truth. I'm a puppet, a figurehead. I'm now convinced that Russia is one of the worst places on earth. The nights are long, the winters are longer, and the people of this land are irritable and violent. I have gained newfound respect for my forefathers, who somehow managed to keep this godforsaken, frozen hell under control. My armies are have seen a great many victories, but I cannot share their enthusiasm. How can I? They claim to be fighting on my behalf, but this is not true. They do not fight for me. They fight for the idea I have been chosen to represent, and for the men who hold me captive. I desperately want to leave, but I cannot. I am kept under house arrest. I am in all but name, a glorified pet for these relics. I beg of you, If you cannot show pity, at least tell me what I could do to try and pull something positive out of the pit I find myself in. Signed, Mikhail. Man, it's really sad. I feel for Mikhail, the reluctant Tsar. But you know, we gotta make it. We gotta do our best to you know, get him a better position. All right, there we go. They'll send their only troop that they have left in here, and then they'll be over. That'll be the end of it. We gotta make the best for it. For our boy. Weekly stability. Yeah. Let's get some weekly stability. An offer from the moderates. An unexpected visitor came to Chita, requesting talks with the government. This particular visitor came to represent Mikhail Machevsky's wing of the Russian Fascist Party, and he claims that a conflict between... Is it this one? Diplomacy? Or is it my fascist party? And those will soon occur. Oh, this one. Yeah, we'll be fighting this guy, I guess. In the event of this war, the Matkovsky factory wishes for a ceasefire between our forces that we may better focus on the enemy at hand. While we can hardly trust these despicable fascists, we cannot deny that Rodzaevsky is far and away the large threat at the moment. Of course, the ceasefire would only last until after their war with Rodzaevsky has concluded. Huh, is it this guy? Yeah, it is. The Vorzhd. Interesting. So ceasefire between us two, and we'll probably go fight off more once that happens. Alright, an industrial empire. Well, I mean, press X to doubt. Ooh, spoils of war, baby. And we got 2. Alright. The only thing that is worsening is poverty rate. But there's no real way for us to increase our poverty rate, right? So, instead, let's increase our research rate. Ooh. We even got some points. That's good. Which we'll be using to get extra investments. I don't like these ones, so I won't be taking them. But industrial investments and the more security of control, I'll definitely be going. And training our troops, of course. Once that becomes available again. But you know, one step at a time, of course. But that is pretty much all the time I have left for today. I do hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you did. Hopefully I'll see you next time, and hopefully you have a nice day. Bye bye.